getting rocks thrown up into the radiator. Radiator is pretty light, and rock will go right through it and take you out of the race. Figure if you're behind another 185, 200 horsepower super bike that throws a rock back, it's like a bullet. So we need something that's going to hold up.
Like a lot of these teams, you use a radiator guard to protect the radiator.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially places like Daytona, places like here that has a lot of speed and a lot of debris. You got to be really careful to keep the stones out.
My favorite example is Turn 1 at Infineon, where everybody runs off into the gravel a little bit.
A little bit, and a big acceleration zone, a lot of rear wheel spin. You eat a lot of. It's a debris factor, yeah, for sure.
So I was looking under there. You've got 2 radiators.
We have an oil cooler and a radiator. Yeah.
And you've got it protected on both of those.
Yeah, Cox makes the protectors that we have, and they're a Portland business, which is in our hometown. We didn't even know they were there. They came out and introduced themselves and offered their products to us, and it's a fantastic product, and we've been really pleased with it.
I mean, in your racing career, have you had radiator failures or seen guards save you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think we all use guards because we've had the failures, right? And we were using another product that we had just built ourselves, and his stuff just looks a lot nicer. It's a lot tighter, easier to install, and so it's all good.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much for giving us an insight into your world.
All right, but thank you.
So we're going to look at one of your super bikes and about radiator guards.
It's important to have a radiator guard on the radiator because the tires are so sticky they'll pick up rocks and throw them at the bike behind. And if you collect one in the radiator and it hits one of the rows that has the water in it that goes across, it can put a hole in it. And then your race is over pretty much. It takes a couple laps, but the water will leak out and then the bike overheats and you're done. So we use a radiator guard or a screen that goes in front of the radiator, and it slows the rock down, hopefully enough that it doesn't damage the radiator. And we've used a variety of aluminum mesh, stainless mesh. We've used all different kinds of things, but the guard that we have now is it's a perforated titanium, so it is lightweight and it does a really good job of stopping the rocks. It took some big hits at Daytona where there's big rocks and a lot of speed, and stopped everything. We didn't really have any problems there. So it's made by Cox Radiator Screens, and it's got a nice shroud around the outside so it doesn't rub on the radiator and it doesn't do any other kind of damage. And it's easy to install. It takes probably about 15 minutes to put one on, and it would be a good addition to a street bike as well because you can get the same thing on the street. So
now that's held on by these little black doodads right here. Is that like a zip tie or something?
So what you do is you just take the screen, and you need to have access to the back side of the radiator. So sometimes you have to take the radiator off. It's best if you take it off, but you can do it on the bike. It's a little more work. But you apply foam to the edges, around the edges where the screen is, and then you just use 2 zip ties. You put one on the front, and then put it through, and put another zip tie on the back, and then cut it off, and it locates it. And it takes about 3 across the top and 2 on the bottom, and then it's going nowhere, and it's protecting your radiator, and still doesn't restrict the airflow at all.
All right. Well, thanks for the scoop.
Yeah, you bet. It's a good product, and some people give you things and you're like, but this one actually really does something for us that helps out a lot. So we appreciate the product.